Okay guys, bear with me. I'm gonna try to hold this camera as steady as possible, but as the wind is blowing and I'm in the most awkward position. So I came outside to check out my tiny Arizona cross tomatoes, and look what I saw under the leaves. Now this is a tomato. They're like a mini Marzano. They're a cross, so they're Marzano shaped but only get so big. But look at all these eggs. And you can't tell through the camera, but these eggs, these black ones actually have little tiny spikes on them. So I'm really thinking those could be stink bug eggs, which is really unfortunate because I've had those stink bugs, also known as leaf-footed bugs, I think, destroy my plants before. They're pretty nasty. I've done some videos on them in the nymph stage. And then these little white eggs, I had to get really close to them. They're kind of a creamy white color. And these, I believe, are some kind of tomato hornworm eggs. I'm not certain. But either way, they absolutely have to go. Here's up close. We're at pretty much the harshest light of the day. At this part of the house, but look at that. Oh, and look, are those eggs? It looks like, oh no, please don't tell me those are actually aphids and not little black eggs. Gosh darn. Let me just take this off. Man, that is just awful. And apparently this is just where we're at already this year. We knew we were going to have a lot of insect issues because we had just moved into this house. But that's why it's so important. I'm just going to lay it upside down like this and squish every last bit of it. It is a gross job sometimes, but it has to be done. Yeah. Nasty, right? Blech. Before, in our previous garden and all my early videos, we had a pretty good ladybug and predatorial bug population because we had been there for years. Everything was allowed to build up. We had a lot of good, healthy, beneficial plants. You could see them crawling across different ladybugs and other predatory bugs, crawlies, insects crawling across our turnips. Even in the fall, and eating aphids. I actually have a pretty cool video of that up somewhere that I'll have to find, but we have so much pest pressure, it's not even funny. Oh man, it looks like there's something else on this, a little bitty worm, or I don't know what that is. So man, it's going to be a tough year for pretty much everything. And this is why it is so important to come out and check your tomato plants. We've gotten so much rain. Ooh, look at that spider. Oh, he fell off. He'll climb back on. So important to have so much, come out every day and check your plants. We've had so much rain lately. And look at this, all the yellowing in my plants. It's pretty bad. This plant that I was talking about is the Marzito San Marzano. So it's a really tiny little tomato plant. Elongated mini Marzano type fruits grow up to 2 1/4 long by 3/4 inch wide and resemble small romas. Flesh has a firm texture and a sweet, rich flavor. And they are really good. Actually, we had a ripened one when we first got the plant. Remember what I was telling you about all the insects and stuff we have? Guys, look at this. Where'd you go? Red wasp climbing down there. I mean, I tell you, they are quick too. I actually don't think this is red wasp because it is something else entirely. It has a giant red body and bluish wings. I actually saw one of these guys, I forget what my husband says they are. I saw one of them actually hauling off a big spider the other day. So maybe they're the spider killers or hunters. I'm not sure. I really have to look into this. So we were joking about the amount of insects we have is insane. And then I had a viewer say, hey, We really should do a series on fighting all the pests. So shout out to you, Jay, because I think that that's more than necessary. We have so much going on. Look, just hanging out in the house. Snails, all kinds of ants. They are just everywhere. I have this boy, which honestly I can't tell you if it's a ladybug or an Asian beetle at this point. Just hanging on the window screen, but it looks like, I'm not even sure it's still alive. Oh. So I guess I'm going to be out here a lot, kind of looking out under all the leaves, not just because this land has been vacant for a period of time. Oh. And I say that, and then a little like squash bug flies off and hits me in the face from somewhere. It's insane. I mean, look at this. Looks like we've had some leaf miners on this basil, and look, there's a baby basil popping up down there, a little branch off of it. This tomato actually looks fairly healthy, big brandy. There are some yellowing in all the leaves, which you can see. That has to do with the rain. I'm actually going to mix up some calcium supplement to pour on it. Man, or pour into the soil. I have some water. Some that dissolves into water really well. Got this one. I'm just going to pluck it off. Man, it rained for about a week straight. And before that, it was extremely dry, no rain at all. So I'm not surprised that we're seeing a huge increase in pest pressure. And also, the plants aren't as healthy as they could be because of getting so much rain in a short period of time. You can see they're definitely suffering a bit. There's a lot of yellowing in some of these. The peppers actually look the healthiest. And even in that, you can see some cracking of the stem in here. These are all Big Bertha peppers, so there's a little cracking up here, but overall this one's doing pretty good. Look at it. Not too bad. They're supposed to get up to 7.5 inches long and be a nice sweet stuffing pepper, so I'm interested in seeing how that goes. You can see even this basil has definitely had some pest pressure. I'm not seeing anything growing on it. Look at this though. Yeah, it does look like it's trying to flower, so I'm just going to pick that off. All of these, man, there's a lot of what looks like flowering shoots coming up off of my basil, so I'm just gonna pinch it way down. It's really too little for me to bring scissors out and just scissor cut it back. I wish you guys could smell how good it smells. It's so strong. I've been putting a lot of basil in my lemonade, even the spicier basil, and believe it or not, it's really good. I'm amazed. This is a big brandy. It looks like all the big brandy tomatoes are actually very healthy. And looks like we actually have, look at that little baby. That's another one of those Marzito San Marzanos, the really tiny ones. Look how little it is when it first comes up. And this is the full size, so you can kind of see the two blooms next to each other. That's funny. Man, there's just so much damage on these plants. Aristotle pepper. Some of these are just really gonna need some nice dosing of plant food for sure. I actually have a couple of things, I think calcium and then kelp that I got off the Whispering Willow Farms website, and it's probably been about 18 months ago, but so much has happened, and with the move, me not gardening outside all the time and only having a small space, I just have not used it. And so I'm kind of excited to use that and try it. All of these, I'm not sure if that's a flower shoot or not. Man, the pests are just insane. I'm trying to go through and pinch out the flower top, so I'm already looking for pests. And then anything that has like slight yellowing, I'm not worried about dehydrating and saving this. That looks like a leaf miner, maybe trying to get to that. Because we've been using it so quickly for cooking, we just don't have a lot of plants. And so reestablishing is definitely going to be interesting, to say the least. But look at all this. It's finally, this Big Bertha is finally starting to send some off. This was pretty crooked when we got it, as you can tell from the stem. It still looks a little wild over here, but it's growing. This one was just a tiny root of a plant, and I didn't want to throw it out, so I just went ahead and set it in, and look at it. It's starting to get leaves pretty well, so I think that I will do okay. The pepper plants, the big Bertha peppers actually are probably the healthiest plant. There's a couple of leaves like this one have some yellowing, but overall I don't see any real insect damage. Maybe some cracking on the fruits from the intense rain, but I think they'll be perfectly fine. The great thing of these, you can eat them at any size. I'm just really trying to grow them out until they start changing colors, because I mean, this is amazing to be able to grow a pepper like this in my green stock. I'm pretty excited about that. And then, whew, buddy, I don't know how I missed this. This tomato plant looks absolutely horrible. This is that sun sugar tomato. I took a picture of this one, actually, and man, it has a lot of damage. I thought that this one would do better than the others. It definitely does not look better. It looks pretty rough right now. I'd never tried this tomato before, so I wanted to give it a try. I wish I had some cutters out here just to trim it back, but I don't. But it looks like it's starting to get some more shoots down here. You can see little leaves popping up, but it definitely doesn't look so hot. That's probably one of the worst looking tomatoes out here. I'm not sure that I'll grow the sun sugar again, because I've never grown it before, but I grew it because I wanted Sam, he loves homegrown tomatoes and not store-bought tomatoes. He was so excited. I wanted him to have a variety of tomatoes to try, but it just wasn't that great. It didn't have a good flavor. It's just a little orange globe, and I don't think that it's one that I'll be growing again. It's just not that great. So but these little San Marzanos, I'm kind of torn on. San Marzano is my favorite tomato to grow. It's one of the first tomatoes I ever had a lot of success with, and yet I've never seen so many pests on them. Usually hybrids have a lot of what people refer to as hybrid vigor and grow well, but these aren't doing so hot. It could be the rain. It could be so many different things. We're in a new place, so there's a lot more pest pressure, as you guys are seeing. So, all I'm gonna do, I'm not big on spraying the plants unless I absolutely have to. Not even with neem oil, because it gets so hot out here. I've actually had it, even diluting it down, which are really, some people say to do, some don't. I've had it burn my plants. You know, I really had some success using some buttercups as a trap crop, but I don't have any buttercups growing out here. Because I've tried to use neem oil before for flea beetles, and it just didn't really seem worth it to me. So what I found works the best is setting up an environment where you can get more and more predatory insects. But since we're just moving, I know it's going to take some time to really establish an entire ecosystem. And look, you can see this one's creating these little side shoot down here. Isn't that cool? And then right in here, another branch is coming off. So it looks like these big Berthas are actually doing really well. There's a lot of top growth, even where I've pinched it off. There's a lot of new leaves and top growth. I don't see any pests, like I said before. So I'm pretty excited about this. There's a little damage to the leaves, but not too bad. So hopefully it continues to do well.